And a good feeling it was last night. Welcome in. It is our Monday edition of the 2014 June 2nd podcast, the Big Nasty Podcast, brought to you by What a Burger. And once again, it's a Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2014. Had a little helper there helping me to start off this podcast today because, of course, last night, our boy Tyler Stubblefield for the Texas A&M Aggies came out with the horns going down last night as he stuck it to the horns to force a winner-take-all game tonight. Coming up from Driller Park at 6 o'clock, it'll be on ESPNU. But Tyler Stubblefield was the story last night. Sunday night, he went off 9 innings, only allowed 4 hits, struck out 9, 2 earned runs, 5 walks through 134 pitches, and pitched the Texas A&M Aggies to a win away from the Super Regional next weekend against either the Houston Cougars or the LSU Tigers. And it was phenomenal last night when he got that final out. He looked over there and put the horns down. And, man, you just get a chance to know a kid. And, of course, broadcasting Tyler's games here for the last 2 or 3 years up until this year as an Aggie, you just get to know a kid. He's been on the show a lot. He'll be on the show, our show coming up on Wednesday. He's going to call in, do a little interview as well. And, again, he last night was straight dealing. Brian Kidd, bats in the center fielder, scored on the wild pitch after getting a hit. They were that was in the first game. You know, they had a big day yesterday. They were down 6-0 in the 7th inning against the host team, Rice. And they scored 5 runs in the 7th inning, highlighted by the grand slam by Langford. 2 runs in the 8th. They give up a run in the 10th, so they're 1 down. In the bottom of the 10th, they score 2. Bradson again scores on the wild pitch after Coach Childress had been chunked out of the ballgame, arguing a call in the 9th. And they fight, and they win. So they get into last night's game. Tyler Stubblefield hadn't started in a while, pitched out of the bullpen as of late. But you couldn't tell. The big lefty represented Lufkin last night like no other. And for one, as a friend of mine, I just want to tell him congratulations. What a great start. And you want to talk about representing the town of Lufkin and LISD in a professional way. Tyler Stubblefield last night on ESPN2 did exactly that. I mean, professional, and could not be happier. Not a better kid in the world. I promise you that. Tyler Stubblefield, 9 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts of those Longhorns last night in 9 innings, and got the complete game win. And now they'll do it again tonight. So A&M and Texas hadn't played at anything in over a year. You know, they can't even get at a buffet line together without trying to get in a fight. Well, they'll play for the 3rd time on the diamond since Friday night. Each team has a win. The winner of tonight's game will move on into the Super Regional. And once again, that'll be at 6 o'clock tonight on a Monday night on ESPNU. Now, we do know some other things. TCU has already wrapped up their regional. They know they'll play Pepperdine in a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday matchup starting next week, and that'll be up in Fort Worth. We also know Virginia. They have moved on. They will play Maryland in their Super Regional. A lot to still go. Oklahoma State has won theirs. They will wait and see who wins today out of Oregon State and UC Irvine. They play later tonight. If Oregon State wins, they'll be the host seed in that one. So that's 2 of the 4 Big 12 teams, or the 5 Big 12 teams have already moved on. Kansas has been eliminated in the Louisville, but Texas Tech, the upstart Red Raiders, they are playing around noon Monday against Miami. Miami's got to beat them twice, so if they get 1 win, Texas Tech will be the 3rd team that moves into the Super Regionals, and of course Texas will attempt to be the 4th team. 4 out of 5 out of the Big 12 could advance to the Super Regionals if Texas Tech can win 1 over Miami, and if Texas can beat the A&M Aggies tonight, that's going to be a good one. We already know Vanderbilt's moved on. They will await the winner of Indiana and Stanford. Louisville's moved on. They'll await Alabama or Kennesaw State, who plays today. College of Charleston still looking good as a 4 seed out of their bracket. They haven't lost. They'll have to be beaten twice today by either North Carolina or Long Beach. So the college baseball is in full swing. We'll be down to 16 teams later tonight. And, of course, tomorrow on the Big Nasty Show, we'll recap all of that for you live at 5 a.m. over on KSFA 860 and right here on KSFA860.com. Sticking with the baseball theme, the Douglas Indians. That is right, the Douglas Indians are headed to the state tournament after dispatching of the return of the defending state champion Price Carlisle Indians Saturday afternoon right here in Lufkin, a 9-0 win. And what do you say about Matthew Wallace? 7 innings. He only needed 65 pitches and only gave up 2 hits. One runner, the leadoff runner, got to third, but he didn't score, and that was it. No one else got past second base for those Price Carlisle Indians. And at the plate, Wallace was 2 for 3, scored a couple of runs. Colton Rhodes was 2 for 4, scored 3 runs and drove 1 in. Bryce Westbrook seems like he's on base every single time. 2 for 3, RBI and a run scored. Brandon Stanfield, the big catcher, drives in 3 runs, also scores another one. Logan Ammons walks twice, scores a run. Trenton Kerrigan walked twice, got an RBI and an RBI and a run scored as well. And the Douglas Indians, the number 1 team in the state, they are headed to the state tournament, and they are 31-1. And don't forget, Tuesday morning on the Big Nasty Show, we'll visit with the head coach of the number 1 Douglas Indians, Eugene Lafitte, will join me live right here on KSFA 860 in the morning, a little after 7 o'clock, so be sure and stay to that. Now, who will the Indians be playing? They'll be playing Dawson, and that game will be Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. I'll have the call for you over on Q1077 for sure, so be sure and stay tuned for that. Wednesday morning, 9 a.m., number 1 Douglas taking on Pearland Dawson at the first semifinal, 9 a.m. from Dell Diamond. We'll have the coverage for you over on Q1077. Anson and Flatonia, the other semifinal matchup, they'll go at noon. That'll be on Wednesday. Then you get into the 2A semifinals from Dell Diamond as well. Idalou and Troy at 4 o'clock, East Bernard and Sunnyvale at 7. The 3A semifinals are Wednesday as well, but they'll be played at Dish Falk Field. Argyle and Sentinel go at 1 o'clock from the Dish, and at 4 o'clock it'll be College Station, the number 1 team in the state, taking on Lubbock Cooper. That'll be at 4 o'clock from the Dish. Then at Dell Diamond on Thursday, the 1A championship, should Douglas win, they'll play again Thursday morning at 9. We'll have that one for you as well. The 2A championship at 12, and that's at Dell Diamond. The 3A championship at 6:30 Thursday. That'll be at Dish Falk Field. Then back to Dell Diamond at 4 o'clock for the 4A semis, and that'll be Richmond George Ranch taking on Victoria East, and Hallsville at Aledo. That'll be the late game at 7 o'clock from Dell Diamond. Then, of course, 3 games on Friday. The 5A semifinals, Pearland, the number 1 team in the state, taking on Louisville Flower Mound. That'll be at noon. The 3 o'clock game, San Antonio Reagan against the Atascocita. That ought to be a good one. The 4A championship at 7. And then the final game of the 2014 high school baseball season will be Saturday morning, 11:30, the 5A championship live from Dell Diamond. So that is going to be some good stuff. Don't forget, we'll have Douglas Indian state playoff baseball action over on Q1077. I'll have it all coming up for you. And that'll be Wednesday morning. We'll be on the air just before 9 o'clock. As these Douglas Indians, 31-1 on the year, will take on Pearland Dawson in the semifinal, and we will be there to have it for you. All good stuff coming up, and if they make it to that state championship game, we'll have that for you as well. So great time to be a Douglas Indian High School baseball fan. Of course, don't forget tonight at 6 o'clock on ESPNU, Texas and A&M for a berth in the Super Regionals against LSU or Houston. Houston beat them on Sunday night, so they'll play a winner-take-all today as well. So that's going to be some good stuff. Also, we know we'll talk about this on our Thursdays podcast, but the NBA championship. Oh, yeah. The NBA championship finals are set. San Antonio taking on the Miami Heat. It will be a rematch. First time we've had a rematch in 16 years since the Bulls and the Jazz did it back-to-back years. We know both of those went to the Bulls. We know last year went to the Heat. I got a feeling this year that will not be the case. I'm just throwing that out there. I think the Spurs are going to go out and crack the whip, I say. Maybe it's, that whip on LeBron James. We're all over the Spurs. We don't like them. We love them, and we want some more of them. Spurs and the Heat. Not for a while, though. You got a few nights off. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, the game we broadcasted on ABC. So stay tuned for that. And, of course, Wednesday night, we'll have to miss that because we got semifinals of T-ball immortality. Little Brody Ivins and the Texas Rangers Thursday night into the semifinals of the T-ball City Championship, and that is Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We wouldn't miss that for nothing, would we, Brody?
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't. One more time. How about them Aggies?
No.
Say, go Aggies. Go Aggies tonight, baby. That's what we're talking about. They'll be on the tube at 6 o'clock. And, again, a win against that. And they very well could be hosting the Houston Cougars next weekend. I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's going to be some good stuff. Baseball tonight. And that is at 6 o'clock live on ESPNU. And, again, a big shout-out to big Tyler Stubblefield mowing down the Longhorns last night in a complete game. Line them up and mow it down. What was he last night? I think my man was pitching like an all-star. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Congrats, T-Stub. Love you, brother. Keep up the good work. That'll do it for our Whataburger Monday podcast. Once again, we archive these bad boys on KSFA860.com. Tune in to all of them. I'll be watching some baseball tonight at 6 o'clock. I can tell you that. Always fun. We'll be with you live in the morning at 5 a.m. on KSFA 860. And I will have the Douglas Indian head coach, Eugene Lafitte. They're headed to state. We visit with their head coach live in the morning right here on KSFA860.com. Thanks for being here with us today on a Monday. Once again, we are brought to you by Whataburger. Locations throughout East Texas. Stop by Whataburger today. Double meat, double cheese, jalapenos. Stack it on there tight. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for being here with us today, guys. I'll see you bright and early in the morning right here on KSFA860.com. It's a cool place, and they say it gets cold.